Hello students, I am Dr. Shashank Sahu from Akgec Engineering College. Today I am going to discuss about the topic stored procedure, and which is part of the subject web technology, and subject code is KC602. So first of all, what is stored procedure? Basically it is a group of SQL statements. To group SQL statements, we give a name, we call as a procedure. And the purpose of giving the stored procedure is it can be reusable. So we can use the stored procedure many times, and stored procedure is also secure. Administrator can grant appropriate permission to the stored procedures. Next is how to create the stored procedure. So these are the following commands for creating the stored procedure. First important part, if you are going to create a stored procedure, we need to change the delimiter. By default, when you are running any SQL command in MySQL prompt, then you must give the semicolon at the end of the SQL command to terminate the SQL statement for the execution purpose. But if you want to create a stored procedure, we first need to change the semicolon, that is we call as a delimiter, and you can give any delimiter. Here we are using slash, double slash. So first of all, to change the delimiter, so we are using the delimiter statement. You will give this command in the MySQL prompt. So we are using here delimiter, and we are given the delimiter 2/ here. Then we are using to create the procedure, we use the create, then write the procedure and then give the name of the procedure. Here for example, the name of the procedure is get all products. Then we start the starting of the procedure, and we give the statement of the SQL. Here the statement of the SQL is select star from products, and we end the procedure. After ending, we must use double slash as we use the delimiter. Now important part is whenever we change the delimiter in MySQL prompt, we need to reverse back its default delimiter, which is semicolon. So again we are using the delimiter semicolon, then now the delimiter will back to the default position, that is semicolon. So very important part, whenever you are going to create a stored procedure, first of all we need to change the delimiter, then only we can write the any procedure. It is a snapshot of MySQL for creating the procedure. Here you can see in the MySQL prompt we are using delimiter first, then we are using create procedure to create the procedure, and we are given the name get all products. Then we are using the begin and end, and we have given a statement for in this procedure. So whenever we call this procedure, this statement will be executed. So this is how to create a procedure. Next is to call a procedure. So calling a procedure, we need to use the call statement, can give the name of the procedure here. And we have created a stored procedure is get all products. So we are using here call and get all products. So this get all products will be called, and it will execute the statement like select star from product. This statement will be executed in this procedure. Next, we can create the variables in the procedure also. So to create a variable, the syntax is we need to use the keyword declare, then give the name of the variable, then define the data type and size of the data type, and we can also give the default value in the at the time of creating a variable. So here is the default keyword is written, you can give any default value. This is an example. We have given the name of the variable is total sale, and we declare with the help of the declare keyword. Then the type of this variable is int, and we have given the default value is 0. So here you can see we have created a variable total sale of type integer, and its default value is 0. Next, MySQL is also allowed to declare more than 2 variables in a single line. So here you can see we have created 2 variables x and y in the same line, even though you can create in the next line also as a y variable. So but just for or you can say easiness, we have created 2 variable declare x and y int and default value. Both of the variable has the default value 0. Next, we can assign the variables value to the variables. So after declaring a variable, here the variable is created total count, we can assign a value. So whenever we are going to assign a value in a variable, we must use the keyword set, name of the variable, and give the value. So the 10 value will be assigned to a variable total count. So now this is the one approach to set a value in a variable, and we can use the second approach, select into command, to assign a value to the variable. And whenever we are using the select into command, whatever the result will be stored in a variable. So you can see here it is a very good example, and we have created a variable total products, and the type of this total product variable is integer and its default value is 0. Now this part is very important. We are assigning the value to total products with the help of the select command. So what we are doing, we are using the select and we are counting all the records. All the records from table products, and whatever the count will be, all the rows will be stored in the total products. So here you can see with the help of the select command, we can assign the value, that is select command, result will be assigned to a value, that is total products. So this is the second approach to assign a value in a variable. First approach I discussed the set, second approach with the help of the select command. Next, if any variable start with the @ symbol, we call as a session variable. So it is accessible until the session ends. So variable name begins with the @ symbol, we call as a session variable. Now stored procedure parameters, we can also pass the parameters to the stored procedure. So there are three modes whenever we are passing the parameters to stored procedure. The first mode is in, second is out, and third one is in out. Let's see what are the differences. So in case of in mode, which is a default parameter mode, in this procedure will receives the value from the calling program. In the out mode, the parameter always sends the value to the calling program, and in case of in out, it will also perform both operation, that is it will receive the value from as well as it will send the values to the calling program. So in is the default mode. Calling program has to pass an argument if you are using the in mode of a variable. Basically in mode is used when you want to pass a value but you are not interested to change the value within the procedure. So we call as a we are passing the value for the read only purpose. If you modify the value, that will not accessible by the calling program. So in mode is basically used to just give the information to the procedure and you are not interested for its modification in the procedure. So we are using the in mode. If you are interested for the modification of the variable, then we must use the out mode. Out mode can be changed inside a stored procedure and its new value will be passed back to the program. So just look for the difference between in and out. In case of in, we cannot see the modified value by the calling program. In case of out mode, whatever modification is done in a procedure will be accessible by the calling program. Now both mixture of this mode is in out parameter, which is a combination of in and out, meaning we need to pass the argument in the procedure. If a modification is done in a variable, that modification is visible to the calling program. So it means that calling program may pass the argument and stored procedure can modify the in out parameter and the pass new value back to the calling program. So updated value will be available in the calling program. So we have in mode, out mode and in out mode. Now to define the in out and in mode, we are using the syntax. You just use the mode, write the parameter name here, parameter type and parameter size. So here you will define the mode, whether it is in or out. Like it is an example, we have created a procedure, name is get office by country. Now the name of the variable is country name and type is variable character and its size is 255. Now here this is the mode, this is the in mode. So this procedure will receive a variable, receive an argument, and that type of argument should be of character type. Now within the procedure we have written the SQL statements. This is the SQL statement. So what we are doing, we are collecting all the rows from the table offices and we will collect only the number of rows where the country name will matching to the argument that we are passing. So this is the country, basically it is the column of a table in the offices, and whatever the value you will pass will be stored in country name. So whenever this where condition will match, it will take out all the number of rows for a specified country. Suppose we are looking for the offices in the USA, so we just need to pass a value USA in get office stored procedure. So we are calling the procedure get office by country, and we are passing the parameter USA. So here you can see the USA will be stored in the country name, and it will match in the table offices. Whenever there is a country name is USA, it will collect all the number of rows and it will display it. So this is the example of the in mode, and next one is the example of the out mode. So in case of following stored procedure returns the number of orders order by. So we are going for an example directly. So the example that I am going to discuss in which we are using order status, and its type is in mode. Second, we are using the total variable and its type is out mode. So this is the stored procedure, and here you can see the name of the procedure is count order by status, and we are passing the two parameters. This is the first parameter, this is the second parameter. The first parameter is order status and its type is in mode, and second parameter is total, its type is out mode, and type of the first parameter is var character, size is 25, and type of the second parameter is of type integer. Now the procedure has been started. What we are doing here, we are counting the order number on the specified order status. If a particular order status is match, it will count the total number of order and it will display it and store in a variable total. Here you can see this is the important part. So we have select count is a function, we are passing the order number here. So it will count the total number of orders and it will store in a variable total, and it will use the table orders, and one of the column is status in the order, and this is the order status that you are passing as a parameter to this procedure. So see an example, we have call the name of the procedure is count order by status, and we are passing the order status that has been shipped. So if it will count the total number of orders that has been shipped, this parameter will be stored in this order status, and we are using the session variable so that we can able to receive the value whatever the modification done in the procedure. So we are passing as a out parameter out mode, and we are passing as a in mode. So when this count order status is executed, the total variable is updated. Now we want to display the total variable, so we can display the total variable with the help of select command. We have total, and @ symbol is denote it is a session variable. So for example, there are 302 number of orders that has been shipped with the status of shipped. Next, one more example. Here we are giving the total number of orders which are in process. So we have given the status is in process, and total number of orders will be stored in the variable total. So again, we will call the same count order by status, and here the order status is right now in process. So it will look for the table orders, and all the orders which has the status of in process will be counted, and the counting will be stored in a variable total, and you can display the total. So here you can see we have passing the in process, and the total counting will goes to the total variable. Here one more change, we can give the different name to the total with the help of as command. So it is just an example, you can display the total also, there is no problem. So here you can see we have the select command, then we have the total, and we are storing the total as total in process. So when you are going to display the total in process, this the value will be displayed here. Next, third mode is in out parameter. So I have till now I have discussed two different type of procedure. One is in parameter, second is out parameter, and third we have discussed with in parameter and out parameter. Next I am going to discuss a variable which is of type in out mode, meaning is both it is working as a input parameter and as it will also work as a out parameter. So here the variable name is count and we are using the type is integer and size is 4, and one more variable is defined increment, meaning we are not going to update the variable inc, that is increment, and because it is defined as a in mode, it is defined as a count as a in out mode, the count variable will be updated. Now we have created a procedure. Name of the procedure is set counter. Here we started the begin and we are using count and count plus increment. So whatever the value of count is incremented by increment value which we have passed, and addition will be again stored in the count. And again to remember here this time we are using the delimiter double dollar sign. Earlier in the procedure we have used the delimiter like double slash, and this time we are using the delimiter double dollar. So we are you can see it is also ended with the double dollar, and again by default we are making original delimiter, that is semicolon. So back to the understanding of this procedure set counter. So we have used the statement set count equal to count plus increment. So when we call this procedure with the set counter and we are passing the counter, it is in out mode and we are passing the increment 1. So what will happen, it will call the procedure set counter, and this counter variable that we have passed earlier will be stored in this count variable, and it is incremented by 1 because we are calling 1, and output will be stored in 2. So 2 will be displayed here. Again we calling this set counter procedure, and in this case we have the counter variable and again we are passing. Remember in the second call, because it is a output mode, the 2 will be preserved for the next call. So 2 will be added to 1 and it will display the output 3. Again we are calling third call set counter, and here you can see this 3 will be preserved in this counter variable because the counter mode has been set as a in out. So whenever we call the method, the previous value will be preserved. So 3 will be added to 5 and output will be 8. So now we are going to display the value with the help of select, and this value has been displayed. Now stored procedure can return the multiple values. So stored programs that return multiple values need to use multiple in out and out parameters. Now we are going to use one more example in this. In this we are creating a stored procedure and that will accept the customer number and returns the total number of orders, and the type of orders can be whether the order has been shipped, cancelled, resolved and disputed. This is a very good example. By understanding is that we can how to create the procedure as well as how to pass the multiple values from a procedure to the calling program. Now here you can see we set the delimiter will double dollar sign, and we have created a procedure get order by customer, and we have taken the customer number as a in parameter, and we have taken 4 parameter as a out, that is shipped, cancel, resolve and disputed, and we started our procedure. In the first group of statement, basically it is for finding the number of orders for a particular customer for which the status of the order is shipped. So we are using a select count star, it will count the number of rows and it will store in a variable shipped, and this is the variable is already defined here from the table orders, and we are set the where clause where the customer number equal to customer number. So we pass the customer number like 1 2 3 4 5 3, and whatever the number you will pass, it will match. So it will match for a particular customer, for one customer, whether the status of the order is shipped, it will count the number of rows, or you can say it will count the number of orders and it will display it. Then update in a variable shipped, then later you can display it. Next is approach is same, this time we are using count star, and it will storing in the cancel out variable. We are using same table order, and we are using where clause customer name equal to customer number and status equal to cancelled. This is the fourth set of SQL statement for the status resolve. Approach almost same, we are using counting the number of rows, that is counting the number of orders, where the status is resolved, order is resolved, so it storing in the resolve variable. We are using the same table, and if the customer number is matching for one customer. And similarly for the order which are disputed, so total number of orders which are disputed will be stored in a variable disputed. We are using the table orders, and same number of condition for a particular customer, we are matching for the customer number. If status equal to disputed, it will count the number of orders, or it will count the number of rows where this condition will be matched and stored in a variable disputed. So we have a 4 out variable shipped, cancel, resolve and disputed. For a particular customer, all these 4 variables will be updated. Next part is to call this stored procedure get order by customer and display the output. So here you can see, so we are using get order by customer, and we are passing the customer number 141, and we need to display the status of 4 order status, that is shipped, cancel and resolved and disputed. So we are using @ symbol as a session variable. So all the value will be updated in these variables shipped, cancel and resolved. Then next part is to display the value of the variable. So just use the name of the variable with @ symbol, because these are the session variables, cancelled, resolved and disputed, and the output will be displayed here. So for a particular customer, we are able to see that the number of orders 23 has been shipped, number of one order has been cancelled, 2 order has been resolved and 2 order has been disputed. So it is a very good example which is demonstrating the in and out parameter, and it is a good example to understanding how to use the stored procedure for multiple work, or you can say many times you can call the stored procedure by changing the parameters. So this is for your understanding purpose. In addition to the in parameter, the stored procedure also take 4 additional out parameters, which are I already discussed. Use the select statement and count function to get the corresponding total number of order based on the order status. Then to use the get order by customer stored procedure, pass the customer number and 4 user defined variables to get the out values. After executing the stored procedure, use the select statement to output the variable values. This is the output that I explained. There are some disadvantages of stored procedures. Use of many stored procedure increase memory uses and on the every connection. So we should avoid use of the stored procedure. Overuse of large number of logical operation inside a stored procedure increase the CPU uses, because database server is not well designed for the logical operations. So best approach is for stored procedure is to use for the single task that we are going to perform. Multiple, or you can say use of the stored procedure will decrease the performance of the database. Stored procedure constructs are not designed for developing complex and flexible business logic. It is difficult to debug a stored procedure. Only a few database management systems allow to debug the stored procedure. So these are the few disadvantages. And thank you very much. I hope you understand what is the stored procedure. I tried to explain the basics of the stored procedure and given multiple examples and passing the various parameters, how to call the stored procedure and how to use the stored procedure. Thank you very much.